Welcome guys. In case you didn't know, I'm on a video posting spree where I'll be posting 30 videos for 30 days in this month of Ramadan. So this video, I think we'll be watching benefits of fasting, right? Benefits of fasting, which I think is an important topic to talk about since we are in the month of Ramadan, which is the month of fasting in life of Muslim. So yeah. I don't want to say too much. If you've not been following the journey, you can go back and watch my previous videos, and then yeah. In 3, 2, 1, let's go straight into this one.
Fasting is incredible for fat loss. So incredible that I've been talking about it on YouTube since 2015, back when it was a sin to skip meals. Back then, almost everyone looked down at fasting because it was supposed to drastically slow down your metabolism, cause crazy muscle loss, and there's no way you can possibly have a good workout on an empty stomach, right? Well, we now know all of these statements are untrue. In fact, it turns out simply not eating is actually a very effective strategy to reduce calories and in turn burn fat. Go figure. But today, I don't want to just talk about the benefits of intermittent fasting. Instead, I want to give you guys the best intermittent fasting plan to transform your body in the next few weeks. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to structure the perfect plan for yourself for free. So first, the beauty of intermittent fasting lies in its flexibility. This means there are many ways that you can fast, and the best plan for you is going to depend on, well, you, of course, your preferences for everything from meal sizes to how well you deal with hunger when skipping meals, to what times of the day you crave food more or less. All of these factors determine the perfect structure for you. For example, for myself, my two favorite fasting protocols that I've been following for years are the Warrior Diet and OMAD, otherwise known as the 1 meal a day diet. To briefly explain each of these, the Warrior Diet is based on the supposed eating patterns of ancient warriors. The reason why I say supposed is because no one actually knows exactly how ancient warriors ate. So a lot of it is based on how we believe hunters and gatherers would act when faced with periods of limited food availability, no refrigeration to preserve food from prior hunts, and very limited agricultural skills. So the Warrior Diet involves under-eating for a large portion of the day. By not eating, unlike what most people think, you can actually become significantly more productive because you won't have the same fluctuations in your blood sugar that come from eating and digesting your meals. There's a theory that having an empty stomach throughout the day helps you focus and be more productive because during prehistoric times, that boost in focus would help us hunt and catch prey so that we could ultimately eat, fill our stomachs, and then rest and digest.
You know, that's how we Muslims fast, right? We don't eat throughout the day because the fasting begins at sunrise and then ends at sunset. So sunset and then Maghrib time, you call for Maghrib prayers, and then you can do the iftar or something. We call it iftar. That is the breaking of the fast. So yeah, you people have seen the benefits for not eating throughout the day. So let's see what it has more. Let's see.
This is why another one of the main tenets of the Warrior Diet is the feasting period that you'll have at night. You get to eat very large, satisfying meals, but the catch is that you only have a 4-hour window at the end of the day to eat. For the other 20 hours of the day, you should be fasting, which means you're eating nothing and only drinking calorie-free drinks like water, unsweetened tea, and black coffee. The Warrior Diet also highly encourages you to eat whole, nutrient-dense foods during the 4-hour feasting period. This includes lean proteins, vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and healthy fats. Meanwhile, it excludes processed and refined foods. Since whole nutrient-dense foods are naturally very filling while also containing a very low amount of calories per gram of food, it's easy to see how you can massively reduce calories with this type of plan without even counting them. If you're eating real single ingredient foods and avoiding processed foods high in sugar and oil, it's almost impossible to overeat before your stomach can't take any more within a 4-hour period. It's a very similar story with OMAD, with the major difference being instead of a 4-hour feeding window, you only have 1 hour to eat all your food for the day. This 100% limits you to only 1 meal a day, and even though I have many days where 1 hour is more than enough time to fill my stomach and be done eating, I never punish myself if I want more time and need to switch into more of a 4-hour Warrior Diet eating structure. That's because, once again, intermittent fasting is supposed to be flexible. If I'm sitting there looking at the clock over and over again, trying to stuff as much food in my stomach as possible before my 1 hour is up, not only is it not enjoyable, not only can it lead to binge eating as much as you can within that hour, but it can also create a sort of eating disorder. So if you're going for OMAD, it's not a big deal. If you want to take a break, wait an hour or two, and then eat some more. This is why I put OMAD and the Warrior Diet under one umbrella. Another thing you should know for any intermittent fasting plan is to stop worrying about the exact hour or the clock in general. If you start eating at 8 p.m. and go back to fasting at 12 a.m. one day, meanwhile the next day you start eating at 10 p.m. and go back to fasting at 2 a.m., it's not going to really matter. Same thing if one day you accidentally have a 5-hour feeding window because you had an apple 30 minutes past your 4-hour feeding time frame. Don't sweat these tiny issues because ultimately all of these plans work or don't work based on calories in and calories out. It should be a stress-free process where you're not even looking at the clock, otherwise you're creating a sort of OCD. Trust me, the exact hour that you start and break your fast doesn't matter nearly as much as the foods and the total calories that you're eating within your feeding window. Just to drive this point home, imagine you're following OMAD, so you're limiting yourself to only eating food within a 1-hour time frame. And after going all day without food, you find yourself with 3 small little pints of Haagen-Dazs ice cream sitting in front of you, which let me say, it's very easy to eat all 3 after a whole day of no food. And on average, each pint has 850 calories. Guess what? You just had over 2,500 unfilling calories in the form of sugar and you're probably still hungry. Now try to do the same with, let's say, rotisserie chicken within 4 hours instead of just 1 hour. It's just not happening. And an entire rotisserie chicken contains only about 1,300 calories. It has tons of filling protein and you probably won't be able to eat the entire thing within 4 hours even if you try really hard. So don't obsess about the clock. Focus on following your preset fast, like 20 hours of no food, for example, and then focus on eating whole foods until you're full, then go back to fasting. I guarantee you'll lose tons of fat this way without all the mental stress that comes with pointless meal timing. So before we move on to other fasting structures, there are a few disadvantages with OMAD and the Warrior Diet that might make these plans a bad fit for you. First of all, even though you get a huge meal at the end of the day, you pay for it by eating nothing for a whole 20 to 23 hours beforehand. Some people are not okay with going such a long length of time without food. With that said, no one is great at fasting on day one. Your body needs time to adapt to a new eating pattern, so you'll have certain hormones like ghrelin that will be released during your normal eating times, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and these hormones will make you feel very hungry until you adapt. For example, in the beginning, I would get very hungry, but now, after years of eating this way, you can't force me to have breakfast or lunch.
The first 5 days is going to be a challenge because you are used to eating, and then Ramadan is like, that's how it is. But then as time goes on, after like the 6th day, 7th day, 8th day, that you'll be used to the system. It grows like that, like an inclined graph.
I usually feel completely full and I'm almost repulsed by food during the day and during the afternoon because my body has adapted over a long time frame to my fasting and eating schedule. These aren't just mental adaptations, they're changes on a hormonal and even cellular level. So give your body at least a week to adapt a little before throwing in the towel. Another similar issue has to do with your energy levels. You might feel tired in the beginning from skipping meals. Not only will this go away, but you can actually experience improved energy levels as your body adapts. The last major issue is binge eating. Some people are significantly more prone to eating everything.
I remember we used to go play football right after suhoor. Suhoor is the diet or the meal we eat at dawn. So right after suhoor, they will go and play football, especially during vacations. Bro, it was interesting back then, bro. Right now, everyone is grown. People have left the country. God damn. But people still do it, I think, yeah.
In sight when they haven't eaten all day long. The workaround to this is, first of all, don't have easy to access junk food in your house because while you're cooking your meal, you can easily graze on hundreds, if not thousands of calories from even healthy yet high calorie snacks like nuts. Second of all, you want to have already prepped meals ready to go or food that you can prep very quickly like frozen vegetables that you can throw in the microwave. Always break your fast with an actual meal that contains vegetables and protein to highly reduce the chances of binge eating. Because once you start feeling some of that healthy food in your stomach, your mind will lag behind a little, but soon afterwards, it'll stop incessantly suggesting all those junk foods that you think you're craving. In reality, you just need to satisfy that hunger.
Normally we take in dates. If people know dates, yeah. Some banana, get some fruits, and then yeah, break your fast. So drink some water, break your fast with some dates, some fruits, yeah. It helps the system.
So even though I refer to the Warrior Diet as the #1 intermittent fasting plan for fat loss, you might benefit more from a regular 16-hour fast combined with an 8-hour feeding window. This usually involves simply skipping breakfast, eating your first meal around lunchtime, and then a second meal for dinner. Again, the key to this plan being effective is not the timing of your meals, but rather the content of your meals during your time-restricted eating window. This 16-8 fasting protocol allows you to still eat larger meals than you would if you were eating 4, 5, or 6 meals a day, but at the same time, it doesn't make you fast for as long. And many people do much better breaking their meals up a little more than what the Warrior Diet or OMAD allows. Another 2 fasting protocols that I see implemented less often includes the 5-2 diet and the alternate day fast. The 5-2 diet allows you to eat regularly 5 days of the week, and then you eat close to nothing on the other 2 non-consecutive days of the week. You can eat a small amount on those days, but no more than 500 to 600 calories. I'm personally not a big fan of this one because 2 full days of fasting may not be enough to make up for 5 days of going all out eating whatever you want. Alternate day fasting makes much more sense with this kind of approach. You eat regularly one day until you're completely full, and then the next day you don't eat at all or you eat a very small amount of calories. Even though this will work much better than a 5-2 plan at reducing your total weekly caloric intake, it can be difficult for your body to adapt to this eating pattern since you're becoming accustomed to eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner, then the next day you're skipping all of them. So it's hard to get into a rhythm with this type of plan. The last main fasting protocol is extended fasting, which typically involves fasting for 24 hours or longer. This is when you're going to bed with an empty stomach for 1, 2, or 3 days. Any more than that, you're starting to risk muscle loss, but there are people that choose to go longer. This type of fasting should primarily be done for the health benefits like autophagy, for example, where your healthy cells essentially clean out and feed on dysfunctional cells and
I've actually forgotten the meaning of autophagy. I don't know if it is there. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to say anything so that people come and cook me. I won't say
bacteria found throughout your body. This protocol should not be used as a sustainable
Elimination
approach
of
to
those
fat
things.
loss because for most people, including myself, it's not sustainable on a consistent basis. So really, the 3 fasting protocols I recommend you use for fat loss are either 16-8 intermittent fasting, the Warrior Diet, which is 24, or OMAD, which is 23-1. Out of the 3, I found the Warrior Diet to be the best plan because it aligns with my preferences of having a big meal at the end of the day, not worrying about food at all throughout the entire rest of the day, boosting my productivity from a lack of blood sugar swings, and as long as I eat real food, which we all know what real food is, I don't have to count calories. With all that said, I want to quickly show you how to structure your fasting plan regardless of which of these 3 you choose if you want to incorporate a lot more processed foods, junk foods, and foods full of refined sugars like ice cream. I also have days where I approach my diet this way and I eat things like pizza, ice cream, you name it, while still staying lean. This is how you do it. First of all, ice cream, pizza, all these things have to come second to hitting your daily protein target, which should be at least 0.7 grams of protein per pound of body weight every day. To ensure you're hitting your protein target, unless you're highly experienced, it's a great idea to track your calories and macros with an app like MyFitnessPal or the Carbon app. These apps cream and pizza and whatnot afterward. But it's very important that you track these foods and ensure that you're staying under your daily calorie intake because, like I mentioned, just a pint of ice cream can have 850 calories. Now, if you slightly exceed by a couple hundred calories one day, again, no stress, it's no big deal. You can subtract those calories from the following day because fat loss is about totals over time, not just on a day-to-day basis. So this method would allow you to incorporate a lot more junk food in an if it fits your macros type of portion control within an intermittent fasting eating pattern. If you don't want to count calories, it's easy. Simply stick to real whole foods that you'll only find on the outside aisles of your grocery store while prioritizing protein, and it'll be very unlikely that you're not in a calorie deficit at the end of the day. Either way, I recommend that your default is this, sticking primarily to whole, healthy, single ingredient food sources, and then throwing in a couple days every week where you eat junk to make your plan more sustainable. This is simply better from a health perspective. But that about wraps it up for today. I really hope this video helped you out. I'm also going to link multiple videos below to further help you information program.
W video, man. Yeah, so yeah, that's just about it. It was getting boring. It was getting boring at the end. If you are able to stay to the end, man, shout out to you, man. It's crazy out here. I need some rest. But then, yeah. Yeah, that's just about it. Those are the benefits of fasting. So, but it's funny how you could be sick. You could be sick during Ramadan, and then you take up a challenge, be like, yeah, despite the fact that I'm still out, sorry, I'm sick, I'll still fast, and then you would eventually get healed, as you would eventually heal from the sickness, bro. It's like the fasting does some magic. I don't know, man. But if you're not fasting, you are missing out on something real. And then there's actually a reason why I am posting this video. I'm actually doing this or posting this video as early as possible, so that maybe this video will give you some motivation to take up the challenge until yourself and be like, fuck it, I'm going to fast. Like, you really have to, like, you are missing out on something if you're not fasting this month of Ramadan. But you are a Christian and Muslim, just fast is nothing. Fasting is, apart from the spiritual aspect of it, there are so many health benefits. And in the Quran or in the Hadith, God, yes, I understand he was talking about the spiritual part, but then most of the reason why we do most of these things are the health benefits of it. For example, avoiding the like avoid eating pork, avoid taking alcohol, wine, or all those things. Fasting during the month of Ramadan, 1 month. Just take up the challenge and fast 1 month out of the 12 months, which means you are going to eat around 11 months, and then 1 month out of 12 months used to cleanse the system. Isn't that interesting? Yo, man, if you're not fasting, you are missing out. Try take up the challenge onto yourself and just do something, bro. Like do something, like stay away from food at least. But when you are with your friends and they are not eating, don't eat too. When you leave them, you can go and eat, and then don't be complaining about hunger too much around them. And if you have food, don't be eating around them. Them too, they are human beings. They have feelings. Yeah. So if you stay to the end, thanks for staying, bro. Thanks for watching, man. Make sure to do what you're supposed to do, and then bye.